We're gonna do one more thing, and then we're gonna talk about it. Come on. It's just not good. Okay, so I'm back. And now we can check. Okay, so for starters, I got my breakfast this morning. A not so hot coffee down at the PT. Sometimes they be on it, sometimes they're not. But we got a man that's down here. He seems like he's the only one who'd be working. He's a young dude. I'm gonna put him under 30 or right at it maybe. And honestly, I think that he should be like nighttime management. But seeing his work ethic compared to his peers in these last few days, I'm like, that little dude down there need a promotion. He's a very nice young man. There's a lot of nice young folks around here, right? So anyway, here's the let's talk about it, right? Recently, y'all heard me say I want to be the first ethical billionaire, and I know y'all was like, well, who the hell are you with missing your teeth that you think you could be a billionaire? How you gonna come about this money? You've also heard me say that people have been trying to kill me for the better part of 3 years. And yeah, some of it's my politics. I'll give you that. But if you think that that's the only reason someone would try to poison me, you're mistaken. They would have bombed me. You know, they would have done the things that they did to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. In fact, they tried those things. Didn't work. You see, I'm different. I'm built different. I watch the things. What up, Sister Enage? How's your spirit, Chicky Poo? So glad to see you. Thank you for leaving a comment under the videos that I released last night. You and March, I appreciate y'all very much. Thanks for looking out for those things. Or for rewatching the stream too, by the way. But so okay, so you have to understand when I first came into this space. Let me back up. I'm gonna go even further back. It would have been 2016 or so when I first began to speak to my siblings about going into business together. Now you have to understand, we had already spoken about it at least once or twice before. Once, when I first had the gastric bypass surgery, about 2 years afterwards, when other people I knew started to do it too, I realized that the website like obesityhelp.com didn't really help people. I realized that the support groups that you could go to at the hospital, they don't help you either because it's clinical. So regular people go to the support group and they let the nurse lead and they talk about whatever it is the nurse that they talk about, right? And well, the nurse says, well, you're going to experience lactose intolerance. So you talk about the lactose intolerance you experience, but no one talks about the fact that your libido goes from like 0 to 100 after you lose 60 pounds. No one talks about the other things like you going from having double G fun bags to deflated sumo suits. Like no one really talks about those things in inside of support groups. Not in a hospital setting. Not even when you're out here at like your AA meetings and those things. It's almost it, it's it's the level of communication that you need to have with you in a therapy setting with your therapist, right? Yet your therapist is such a son of a bitch that they're stuck on Sigmund Freud and Jung and this, that, and the third, that they're not seeing the human being in you. They're seeing the diagnosis in you. How can I diagnose you? If I can diagnose you, can I write a paper on you? If I can diagnose you and write a paper on you, can I get a peer review? Can I get put into a medical journal? Blah, 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 blah. And they forget about the human being inside, right? So that was in 2009, I understood that, okay? So now fast forward, here we are at 2016, and I've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and at this point they're pushing to say they were pushing to say that it was severe depression because I had lost um, um, a man who was close to me in 2014. And it took its toll on me, mostly because I couldn't communicate with anybody. I couldn't explain what was going on because people couldn't hear, they couldn't listen. My elder sister was like, I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't have the emotional capacity to help you deal with losing someone. I don't have the emotional capacity to help you grieve, was basically the message that I received, technically from both my siblings. So, all right, I'm alone in this journey. So, anyway, fast forward to 2006. Like, I don't want to be on all of these medications. And by 2016, they've got me on opioid therapy. Now they're trying to tell me that I got to come off of it because I would rather use cannabis and so on and so forth. And the fight begins. And so, in that fight is when I begin to understand um, what I can create, what's missing in the world, and the title, right? How we can get the reparations that we seek, and there's no way the government can stop it. How we can have a conglomerate and achieve what it is that we're trying to achieve. You know what I mean? So in 2016, I explained to my sisters, I'm like, there are a lot of people like me who have chosen to use cannabis for medical reasons, even though they knew recreationally it was you know. Hey, I used to always say, when I'm older, I'm gonna retire and sit on my porch and smoke my glaucoma medicine with my best friend. And right now, everyone wants me to do that. You see, this is the thing. When I came into this situation, everyone was like, "Yeah, no, she, whatever, whatever." Now people just want me to be on YouTube. They just want me to be here and talk to y'all and be the happy little autistic mom who sits on the porch and smokes her cannabis and talks to y'all about it and what's going on today. No, baby, that was never the play. That was just to help you understand. You see, one of the reasons that I'm here now talking to you about this and calling it what it is because this space forgot what the fuck it was I was fighting for and why they were fighting against me. So let's think about it. Back when, in the 60s and 70s and whatnot, to be black was the thing to be, right? To be fighting, to be a part of the movement, the Panthers, um, the nation, to follow behind Martin or Malcolm or Marcus or any of them. And then the 80s and the 90s come along and you motherfuckers assimilate and you forget about the fight. You forget what was done to you, people, your ancestors, children, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I recognize that it's here. Our legacy is in this soil. It's in the blood that runs deep in the soil of this country. It's just the thing about it. It isn't simply that black people are Americans. It's not even that we're simply indigenous to this country. It's what they did to us in order to steal from us. Good morning. And copy everything about us, right down to our DNA, so that they could create a better us, one that, in their opinion, breathes well with them, so that they can continue to carry on. They, white supremacists, colonizers, the ones, the we can't let it go, the ones in their 70s and 80s who look like they're behind the scenes, they're on life support. Like before they wheel Joe Biden out towards the stage, he's somewhere in the back hooked up to an oxygen tank and getting doped up, whatever, with some epinephrine so he can look punchy in the part and shit. That part. You know what I'm saying? So, California has said yes to reparations. Portions of North Carolina has said yes to reparations. I've been out here now since 2016. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, talking to people about exactly that thing. So what they tried to do was steal from me the idea, but you see, no one could figure out exactly what it was, is, how to put it together, how to market it, how to make the people move for it. They can only figure out parts of it. So let me steal what I can. And if I can't steal it, let me create an organization so there should be forced to come and deal with me. But I intend to be ethical, remember? So, speaking spiritually, my karma has been to watch as my people turn their back on me, disappoint me, do everything to destroy me because they are afraid of what they could not create, of what they cannot be. And since they can't be it, they don't want it to exist because they think they're not going to be invited to the party. Well, in some ways, that's true, right? You could have been a part of a global movement, a cannabis community and organization, I mean, the first of its kind, dedicated to the right things from the ground up. So you wouldn't have to worry about the system crumbling around it. Something that you could build a space station off of. One that wasn't held together by 550 cord and duct tape after about 25, 30 years. You know what I mean? Something that's going to last a lifetime. Just now, lifetime are starting to get longer. Anyway, so uh, here's how it all came together. 2016, I'm experiencing mysterious pains and things, and they forced me off of the opioid therapy, partially because I'm like, cannabis helps a lot. I really believe that people can use um, cannabinoids along with opioids and have a much better healing experience. I believe that the time of use on the opioids would be shorter, less likely to be addicted to those things, a host of reasons. Cannabis helps you get off of a host of things because it will slow down your brain and make it stop thinking about that drink that you want. It's going to make you think about being hungry. So you might want to make sure you have some healthy snacks so you don't get fat. But you notice how really, really consistent weed smokers are not that damn chunky. Like the one, like yeah, you know, stoners, be slim as shit out this bitch. I'm still working on understanding those things, but so is the government. So is the globe trying to get an understanding and awareness of cannabis from enough people in order to be able to make a research push and do all of those things. So you have to be willing to, in some way, be a part of the system. But you got to remember, a lot of weed smokers, especially the older ones, those who are in their like 50s and 60s, who've been doing it for a while, they're very best clandestine about it. They don't believe in giving the government access to their information. That's why they look at you crazy being on these things, these devices, and connected to everything, and you're always hacked in this, that, and the third. They don't understand it. It's gonna have to happen, that coming together of the mindsets. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. But so 2016 is when I begin to make the recognition and understand um, how cannabis can be used to better improve the lives of people. So then I went on a journey to figure out how I could improve my life with cannabis. And was it really just about the THC experience? Was it just about the psychedelic part of it, that thing? Or was there more to it? And after years of it, I understand more about me than I ever did before. I get why some smokers of cannabis are. That's funny. I'm sorry, they stopped and peed in stereo. That was so cute. This is two little dogs out here. Um, but so, um, mm, give me 1 second. I'm gonna heat up this coffee real quick. Right. And then we'll talk about it. Listen, I did all this talking about cannabis and I haven't even hit my little bowl yet. Give me a moment. So, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, share it with your friends. And if you ain't subscribed by now, I've already said it, but it's Sunday, so it'd be nice. Go ahead and subscribe, please. Do the right thing. Help this community grow so that we can get this money and get on with this journey. Right? Okay, so anyway, 2016. Wait a minute. While I'm thinking about it, anyone who's watching this now or later, the best thing for you to do is to unsubscribe from my channel, resubscribe again, hit that notification, the little bell thingy, and make sure you hit all so you get everything and not just the things that you think you like or the YouTube things you'll like because you're going to want to watch everything. Okay? Now, back to it. Okay. So, I'm on this journey of understanding not just cannabis, but me. So I do a ton of research, and it's one of the main reasons that I chose to move to Arizona when I did. So by 2000, actually, you guys, I began thinking about it in 2017. By then I was moving. That is. By then I was using my short-term disability and considering using a long-term disability. 17 was the first time that I applied for disability and like went through the process, and that's just a freaking nightmare. So that's when I began to understand even more the things that people were experiencing, and I knew what I wanted to do. And I was like, well, JP, you've already done corporate. You've already been an independent. You've been an independent contractor. You understand what it is to manage volunteers. Those things. The last thing that the last piece you need is to get some nonprofit um, inside awareness, right? So that's how I ended up applying to AmeriCorps, ended up in Junior Achievement, so on and so forth. But it was recognizing which states were already on the way to legalizing cannabis on a recreational level, which states had already done it at a medical level, and where I could get in. Which state would I be able to be a part of the purple wave, so to speak, right? So I landed here in Arizona. But hold on, listen, talking about cannabis, and I still ain't lit this. It's some stoners out there like, yeah, she ain't real about this shit. She just a blah blah blah. Excuse me. Okay. So I've always believed that, pardon me, the best business model includes charity in the budget, in the original makeup, pardon me, of the organization. I knew I wanted to create a nonprofit foundation that didn't exist yet. Um, from like 2016 to 2018, though, it was pretty much uh, the nonprofit thing was non-existent. I didn't know what it was going to be yet. I thought I was going to build it around the fibromyalgia situation. I thought that I would be speaking to chronically ill citizens um, around the country, so to speak, those who had been diagnosed with things like lupus, fibromyalgia, PTSD, but yet not in the sense that we're about to discuss. So I said that's like 16 to 18. So in 2018, my cousin Demario was murdered by the Memphis Police Department. And that changes everything. And at the same time, it doesn't. It puts a finite point or understanding on what I was thinking in 2017 when I began discussing, unpack your black and conversations around cannabis with my siblings. My younger sister and I had spent like 2 years sitting on my back porch or a porch each day having a smoke. Pearls from the porch. That's how it was born. I'd asked my sisters to join me. Just in a podcast at first. And then I took it and I ran with it. I was like, how far could I really go? Then Mario was murdered. And I understood. I understood that I could build a community where we could grow cannabis, a sustainable, um, what's the word I'm looking for? For now, let's say campus. A sustainable campus, community, organization built on the understanding that we needed to get back to the soil, the basics, with our children, our people, Mario's children, the forgotten ones, the ones present yet always unseen, the ones spoken about um, yet never spoken to, never having anyone create something for them, a thing. You know what I mean? So I took my understanding of the community that I wanted to create for chronically ill patients, and I took my understanding of adverse childhood experiences, not just from living them, but because basically I'm like, I don't know. At this point, I'm not even. I really just need to go somewhere and hand over all my information, take a test, and be an early childhood educator. I went to school for it. That was what I was going to get my associate's degree in. And then I had to move on, and so I got a bachelor's degree in culinary management because the thing that I always wanted was to be a chef. I wanted to have the name, not the name, the letters behind it because it matters to you people. And so there's no such thing today as any type of actual cannabis educator. Like they exist now. They're starting to grow after I started talking about it. It's kind of interesting how my internet went out like right then, ain't it? So anyway, so I'm doing all this research in North Carolina um, on the plant itself being able to recognize it on site. What's the similarities between the cannabis plant, every other plant out here? What's the thing? When you hear people start talking to you now about the terpenes and the earth that your cannabis is grown in, and you got an understanding of it, because I brought it together for you. I helped you to understand that if you got your weed, you got your whiskey, or you got your wine, these things that are grown in the same earth as your cannabis, they'll work together to heal you from the inside out. You won't have to take a damn pill every day. And that became a thing. It's possible. People are trying it all over the place. And then you add to that, what's your theme song? Each day you get up in the morning, and before you wake and bake, you're like, bruh, what is up with me today? Let's have a conversation with you. It's Sunday. You have a conversation with God, the God in you. And then you're like, well, hmm, I don't like that song. Let me get this cannabis. Let's change this tune. Or, how's your spirit? Then your theme song. And then you're like, all right, I can keep my spirit up with this ish or not. And change it. Happy singing, dancing people all over the world. It's a movement. I started it. Really, all I did is take them all and make them work together. The civil rights movement, the uh, disability rights advocacy, um, taking on the pharmaceutical companies in a way that would be difficult um, to for them to navigate blocking, because it's a reality. I was just telling Chuck that cannabis is coming, whether people like it or not. The legalization of cannabis is going to be on the ballot. People are over prohibition, and the mission of the government to control the minds of the many. You know what I mean? So, the beginning of this drink, I told you I wanted to be an ethical billionaire. And I tell you why people were willing to try to kill me, why people would be willing to go to any lengths to silence me, and they'll continue to. And we all have karma. My karma is to be disappointed in man, time and time again, until enough men stand up and take back their communities, their towns, their homes, their villages, their mentality, their reality. And when I say men, I mean humans. It's kind of weird to me. HUMANS, but we say men, woman. You know, the way we do with words and things. I always get his name wrong. Shout out to Sunum Show, Sunny Show. See, that's the thing. I mean, yes, technically, th- names are words, and they can be said in whatever way, and you know what it's meant to convey. So that's the important thing, right? I grew up with people calling me Geneva, Genevieve, Jareen. It's a thing. Um, And so is learning to communicate language. Uh, I guess maybe that's why I can't stand that stupid book, the love languages or whatever it is. Love is language, and language is love. It makes sense. Like, someone had to sit somewhere and be like, I don't know how to. Like, imagine a race of people, a group of people who were computed. Listen, it's displayed everywhere. It's not just displayed on hieroglyphics. Y'all know what the hell I meant to say. We have, we are visual people, signing code, messages on walls that are imagery rather than full blown words. Right? We're that. So the idea um, of us just someone had to care about someone else enough to love someone enough to be so frustrated with trying to do this shit and trying to draw pictures and pictionary type things, and they just literally just let something out one day. And then, I mean, I'm not saying that they didn't vocalize before, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like a language was born, created, a new way of communicating, kind of like this thing. That's all it is. As we grow closer together, we as we stop being nomadic and become, not for lack of a better word, sedentary, we begin to create these population centers where we have to learn to come together and communicate with one another. That's all there is to it. This is why some people say that modernization is a bad thing in a way, because we put too many people in one space and force them to communicate. And now we're forcing them to do that along with technology. And none of it or us are as old as we'd like to believe. Told you. Just consider the idea that you could live to be 100 or 200. What what would you want? What would you want to be remembered for then? See, you all are living in this the matrix, this false reality that you can't live a lifetime. I mean, you can't live a century or two or three. That's the thing about cannabis, right? It does take you. It can open your third eye, so to speak. You can just do it for the smoke of it, and then have a great time. Yet, if you were to invest in yourself, choose cannabis that, or learn to use cannabis in a way to help you move through your day, to regulate the world around you, so to speak. Hey, Von Erich. Um, I'm great. Larry's Larry's alright. You know, we've been going through a lot recently, so yeah, I ate though. Me in the house. I went and got some coffee. I got something to eat. I haven't eaten yet, but I will. Ooh, that's a lot of smoke. Leave me alone. Give me a minute. Let me giggle in peace. Gosh, okay. Uh, Ironically, I can see my freckles more. Okay. Ooh, ooh. someone knows this about me and I truly hate it. And then someone else knows this about me. And I think it's sweet, but I also think it's absolutely funny because it's like you shouldn't know these types. You know me too well, and yet you don't know me at all. Let's put it that way. But anyway, like I will I know when I'm gonna cough, right? Like when I know when I'm gonna have that stoner cough or I'm gonna choke a little bit from choking, and I'll try to suppress it. Trying to suppress it will make me giggle, make thus causing me to go ahead and end up coughing. And because I know this about myself, as soon as I feel it, I begin to giggle, and it's just it's the thing. It's it's just someone else recognizes it as me, and it's just like y'all, it's just too much. Too much. It's almost like paying too much attention to me. Kind of like the lead attorney. You jackass, you. You see, this is the thing about it. The lead attorney was like, you know what? I'm gonna just steal the teaching idea. You big dummy. You should have just, you know. Anyway, ain't nothing. Listen. It's Sunday. Y'all want to be salacious on a Sunday? Let's be salacious on a Sunday. Ain't none of them shit. You know what I'm saying? None of them. None of them. I had some hope for a couple of people, Ramil, and Angry Man. Did y'all see that post? That child was he, how many Coronas did he have before he got the courage to talk that shit about Rolo Tomasi? Hmm. Talk about you, the granddaddy, not the godfather. You know what the fuck that means? You know what, Von Eric? It means that you know way too many obscene things about me, which is the scary part. You should want someone to you should go over to Angry Man and make him mad enough to use his little flashy thing on you so you can forget the things that you've seen me do. Good Lord. The the things that I listen, y'all done witnessed some stuff. Maybe tonight when you sleep, the Lord will bless you and take it away from you. Because I know I wish He'd take it away from me. The things that I know about some of y'all, child, is listen. First of all, there was a competition going on that I didn't even know. There was a competition to replace me. You understand what I'm saying? There was a competition to steal my identity and replace me. Bitches from all over the world and shit. Okay? All kinds of crazy motherfuckers out here was just like, I could do that. I could be her. I could be better than her. I got all my teeth. I might be 912 pounds, but god damn it, I'm a beast out this bitch. Like, just crazy shit out here, right? So it's a bunch of motherfuckers out here competing to beat me. Bitch, when I saw, and I'm gonna say this shit out loud, when I saw Brittany B. Manish ass out here competing, I was like, oh, well, shit, she got a chance. She's at least a union worker. She worked with men. She gotta understand. But gone. Gone. As soon as I saw her harassing that gentleman, um, his first name is Robert. I think he's a financial advisor. He talked shit about Anton. He was the one who I first saw like visually make Anton a tiny little demon being. I was like, kudos to you, sir. Kudos. He phenomenal. Phenomenal. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Someone out here who truly understands business, finance, human beings, relationships, the back and forth of all of that stuff is putting like, yeah, no, not this beast here, not this dude. This is not how you move. This ain't it. This is how you end up having to go and visit somebody like the lead attorney and turning into somebody like Kevin Samuels and shit. So anyway, those men put these ignorant ass women in competition with me to replace me of all fucking things. You know what they couldn't do? All of it. All of it. So they could be a veteran, right? They could be a mom. They could be a leader. They could maybe do those things, but those three things, but all of it. Right? They couldn't do coffee, cannabis, tea, cookies, crackers, literally and figuratively, history. Like they couldn't get it all, right? So then you just start pinging bitches at me. We're like, we'll put two and four of them together like a transformer out this bitch. No, what was it? What was that? Was it? Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, right. Don't they all together? Like, don't they all come together around Optimus Prime? And bam, right? Or is it the Power Rangers or both? I don't know. Yeah, was little copycats and shit. That first one was that. What's the name? Uh, Millennial something or other. Millennial Miss B finesse. Millennial finesse mindset. I was like, right there. Right there is your fucking problem. You can want to change the meaning of a word, but do you know how long that actually it has to become the common culture? And the common culture is when you say finesse, you're gonna finesse somebody. Finesse is about flair. It's about putting on a motherfucking show. Finessing your millennial mindset until you make it somewhere. No fucking way. Following around Scanton and Scamules and Flea. Fuck out of here, bro. Kidding me? I swear to God, I feel like y'all should have known that they were either the feds or working for the feds, federal informants, whatever the fuck you want to call it. By the time that they got to E Black, y'all couldn't see that shit. I mean, come on. I'm pretty. My guess is that E Black and Scanton worked at the same like plant, but he stopped doing it and started doing YouTube full time. Someone was paying him to. This is my guess. Spirit's giving me a bit of confirmation, but this is my guess on it anyway. And you can make a clear connection between it. And you got Jess Purley who was paying people. You got Gilbert Arenas out here paying people. Before you that, you had people brand deals that you could get. That as long as you said this thing or you didn't do this thing, all of that shit. So there was plenty of money to be made, just fucking with the mindsets of people. All for 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watches. Sell your soul to the highest bidder, and then turn around and try to do it again so you can get a subscriber base large enough to be taken seriously in the first place. So you buy subscribers, and then you realize you have to buy views too. It just is a vicious cycle, and it repeats itself until it eats you alive. You have no choice. You have no choice but to do a couple of things at that point. The outcome is going to be the outcome. The feds will take you through some shit. They don't give a fuck. And like I said before, thanks to Angela Stanton, you can make a connection between all of those people that I just spoke about and the federal government. Money. Follow the money. Shout out to Paperwork Party. I told you, you did not have to believe in me. You threatened me. You thought I didn't recognize it? I was not afraid of that. Just making sure that the feds were looking in all the right fucking places. Doesn't matter what you call me, they know my name when you hear it. When the government hears it, they're like, blink. She's where? Well, let's go on over there and see what happened. We're gonna check something out over here, whatever it may be. Right? And that's, I guess, the final piece. I said all along that what they want is your children. And your children are telling you they experienced it, that they spent more time at school with these strange people tell them all kinds of bullshit. And then you told them that those people had authority over them and dominion over them, and you did too. But you didn't even bother to show up for shit. At least they was doing something. Who do you believe? Who do you listen to? Your children are damn near born with split personalities. They're being born into debt. They're being born into broken institutions, and none of it is of them or their community. So they feel like foreigners in their own fucking country. And they've had enough of it. And now, take it how it resonates. Foreigners are coming over here and talking shit and trying to tell motherfuckers how to move. You see, because they're running again from their country. Well, our children have always been here, talking to their children behind the scenes. They've been building global communities since their early teens and making use of it in phenomenal ways. My middle son taught himself Japanese. All three of them did to some degree. All three of them are multi-talented young men, young gentlemen. Their their peers are too. Maybe they're the cream of the crop, but their peers are too. Of course, I think that on their mother yet. I mean, when you look at it, all those young people on the video games, just conversations. You've been sending them to therapist after therapist, doctor after doctor, giving them drug after drug, so they talk to one another about the real things because you're not watching. They've been their own support group for years. And now you're asking them to support you when you've never supported them. Shout out to what is it, LTTV dude. You stepped on a landmine, a grenade, but you made it. You made it. You got a little shrapnel in you. You'll get through it. You'll get through it. But you are on the right path. Um, you know, it's been amazing. What am I cooking for? What? First of all, I ain't cooking nothing. There ain't. It's not possible. There's no lights here. There's nothing. In fact, that's one of the things is that I think that I'm gonna start emptying this place out because I really want to get the hell out. I figure if God sees me moving furniture, then God will be like, God damn it, could y'all let's come on. Get this girl the hell out of here before she tear her ass up again. Before we gotta wait another 6 months because she didn't throw her damn back out or some shit like that before. Uh, oh, it's all right. I mean, what does it say? It is what it is. I'm not. I was really contentious about it, or I thought at least I thought I would be more so. Um, Yet it's brought me a lot of peace, uh, an opportunity to reconnect with me. Like basically, imagine I finally was able to release that video, the fracturing. Shout out to Mark Harris for leaving a comment. Um, but imagine like just one day. Like someone set off a grenade inside of you. Um, they aimed for your head when they should have aimed for your heart, though. So it was kind of like, bow, but we're still here. So the heart was still beating. And then eventually, by the time that the heart was ready to give out, the head was back together. And like, oh no, we gonna get through this shit. We gonna be all right. We gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. So just in these last couple of weeks, I have felt like um, whole again. That's not to say that you know I'm like that. I don't want to say bulletproof glass because this bulletproof glass, it doesn't fracture, right? That's the whole point, or maybe it does. Anyway, like that. I'm more like glass that uh, will fracture but never break. You know what I'm saying? Um, so it's kind of like if you were to watch all three of those movies, Unbreakable, um, Split, and what's the other one? Is it Glass? It might be. I don't remember, but there are three movies. If you watch the three of them, even with just the names alone, you'll have a complete understanding of what this experience has been like for me. You're gonna go through your id, your ego, your super ego, and time the fuck again. Each time it will feel like you're going through the exact same thing, except you're experiencing it differently. You'll recognize a tiny little thing that'll allow you to keep going. Like for real, like right now, I keep feeling like my eyes are crossing. It's just like, keep going and see if they actually cross. Like, whatever it is. Anyway, like, fun, Eric. I don't know if it was you or me who thought about it first, but really, cross-eyed mice? Stop it. It's just weird. It's just I don't even know how to explain that one. It's just three blind mice. Three blind mice. Yeah, I, that's what it is. Like now I can see three blind mice. They're from I don't know which cartoon it is. But you know the one where he's got and they're holding a cane. And anyway, as you see, yes, I that's how I see y'all, Von Eric. You and the other two. I see y'all as three blind idiots just bopping through life, trying to do the right thing, but just fucking it up time and time again. just, just keep bumping into each other and shit in the darkness. How do we get this damn thing straight? Let's get the alignment right. Stop. Okay, quit. My brain needs to quit. I can't tolerate it. I can't. The ridiculousness is too much for me. On a Sunday morning, it's Sunday. I did say salaciousness, but not about me. I meant about other people. Get out my brain. Damn it. Stop it. Spirit. Okay. Okay. So back to the conversation from before. That's how the sectors were born, right? Because then each sector is like, well, where will she go? What will she visit? It's the same thing on like the physical level, so to speak. Like if I create an entire community of gangsters and stuff or whatever it is. Oh, sugar. Listen, maybe it's just the part of me that shames myself frequently. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I'm a human being. I do all kinds of things. I'm special. I told my son I'm not. I just, okay. Yesterday, Yesterday, he called me after I finished streaming, and I was feeling particularly messy. So I told him that he was born a hermaphrodite, and we just had to choose a gender. Ah, sugar honey iced tea. He's been done with me for about a week since I told him that his dad and I were swingers. He's like, "What? I don't want to hear this." I thought he knew everything. He thinks he knows everything. So I was like, shit, let's talk about it. Let's be about. Oh, we went round and round last night. I was talking shit about him and all the women and blah 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 blah. I was like, you just. I was like, listen, there's a little Memphian inside of you trying to get out. I told you to be a pimp or a politician. You chose the military. That ain't my fault out here. Like, woo. I'm sorry. Come on, that's funny. I love him to death though. Oh, it tickled me. No more cares. I'm not. Well, actually, that's not true. I had a whole, 3/5 of a bottle or more of green tea yesterday. I'm doing the right thing by me. It's just, I truly know that God has got me. It's frustrating. Um, I say I walk around here like I own this because if I don't, I will soon. It's just my faith in the higher power. Or doesn't mean that it's going to come true. I mean, you got to understand for every, since 2017, I've known something was coming towards me that was going to be difficult, right? I had this talk with God, and he was just like, you sure you want to do this? And that was when I was just dealing with the fibromyalgia piece of it. And he was like, all right, it's gonna happen hard and fast and this. I was like, dang, God, seriously? Like, come on, man. Ooh, my battery's about to die. Okay, so I'm gonna do this really quick. I was like, dang, God, seriously? So anyway, um, long story short, I wrote down some things that I was asking for. My manifestation, my vision, my wish, right? Um, God was like, all right, got you covered. And then I started working. And then Demario died. I never asked anything for me. I just kept going. I kept working. I kept moving obstacle after obstacle, hurdle after hurdle, whatever it was. I just kept trying to achieve this thing so that I could do this thing for his children and stop these things from happening. It didn't matter to me the obstacle, the person, whatever it was, with the exception, obviously, of my own children and those who were actually a part of the community. We just kept going, kept working. Mind over matter. Because if you don't mind, it don't matter. And if it matters, then it should be at the forefront of your mind so you can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So the long and the short of it is, I made it my life's mission to achieve the original thing so that I could achieve that dream. and people tried to kill me for it. The creativity, the things that I had come up with, and then my ability to speak truth despite what happened to be able to continue to innovate, to find a different a solution to a common problem, or a way to maneuver so that I do and receive the least amount of damage, so to speak. So all this time, people have thought that they were witnessing my judgment or my downfall, or somehow creating it or blockages for me. There's just a part of the journey to upgrade to the next level of thing or being in order to achieve what God has in store for me. Because I never gave up on Him or me or even the common man when I really want to sometimes. I recognize how difficult it is to go from being told you have no value to recognizing you can achieve anything if you actually believe in the cliches and do the work to not make it just something you say, but a reality for you and people like you. And that's the start and the end of it, because I got 5% left on this battery. I'm gonna go inside and get myself together. Um, I'll be looking for y'all in the streets. Keep the spirit up. Peace. Thanks, Ine and Von Eric for coming through. I'll see y'all soon. Mwah. Peace. Turn off. Thank you.